Yeah, so thanks for everyone for coming. We're going to be unveiling what's underneath the tarp here. My name is Richard, this is Steven, and this is Mike. Yeah, so here we go.
My car needs a driver. This car is a part of me as much as it's a part of you.
Truth is, this isn't just a car.
I'm going to babysit a car.
A car that could change the lives of millions of citizens.
I don't see how this car is going to save my city.
Not this car.
This car.
We call this configuration a Defender.
My car needs a driver.
Stock car from the 1994 TV show Viper.
So we believe this is the last known Viper Defender in existence from the television series Viper. We're still trying to track down the two hero cars that were built by Chrysler. We have no idea where they've gone to, but this was a stunt car that was built for the show, and we're really fortunate that Mr. Moyer has it in his collection, because some collectors, they keep them under wraps. So, and again, we're really happy everyone's out here. Yeah, so we'll kind of talk about the car a little bit, some things that we kind of pieced together. Or actually, you guys want to go? We'll go into our introduction first. So, okay, so I'll start with myself. I'm kind of the youngest of the bunch. So my dad was really big. He's a really big Mopar guy. He started into Mopars, you know, I don't know, when he was around or younger than me. And then he read about the show in a magazine. We ended up, he taped a couple episodes. I was like 3 or 4 years old when I'd seen it. And that was my first introduction to any kind of car drama. Obviously fell in love with it. I actually met, or this is the first time I met these guys, but we've been in contact for years. So Mike actually had a website. He was the first Viper website dedicated to the series, Viper Central. And when did that go down?
I created the original website, I guess, summer 1995, back when the internet was still mostly text. So I go way back with this show. I crossed paths with this car so many times. It's just crazy. It'd be I know they're going to talk about their personal experiences with the car, but it's just it's incredible to see this set up today. I'm so grateful that you guys put this together. Can't say enough how grateful I am to have a performance and Moyer Collection. Could you give them a round of applause for what's great is I was one of those die-hard fans of the show. I got to meet the cast and crew, and almost this is so surreal for me right now, because this is almost like 30 years to the day that I went and met the cast and crew at the Viper Mad Dash, which was a traveling show, and the cars were set up almost exactly like this. So it's just incredible to be here. And you know, over the years, I got to basically cross paths with Richard and Steven, and it's just an incredible fan community. And I guess I'll let Steven take over.
Talk about the cast and crew actually helped you out.
Oh yeah. At the Viper Mad Dash, I met Pet Fly Productions, which was like Danny Bilson and Robert Benjamin and Jeff Tate and Heather Medway, and such an incredible cast and crew when it comes to the TV show. They were so giving, and they were constantly feeding me information like 6 months in advance between each season when they came back for syndication. So, like, you know, I knew about the hovercraft mode that was coming in season 4. I knew about Jim, McCaffrey coming back for season 4, and they even told me about how Thomas Cole had a new haircut for season 3 and all kinds of goofy insider information. It was funny because there was some humor to what they would send me, and again, we pieced together. It was a group effort. We wrote the Viper Fact, frequently asked questions, and when it comes to the nuts and bolts of these cars, the three of us, we've done a lot of research, And if you have any questions at the end, you know, we'd be happy to answer any questions. And between the three of us, we probably know the answer. So, yeah, I guess I'll pass it to Steven now and he'll talk a little bit about the car.
So this is actually kind of how it goes too. He was the start, he was the middle, and it's me out.
My name's Steven, also known as STL. I created the website Project Viper in the late 90s, 97. Kind of the era whenever the websites were, you know, all the rage. And can you hear me? And you know, it basically started out as a passion project. I don't remember much of the original series when this premiered. I was about 10 years old. I do remember my brother and his friend were in the living room watching the show, and I'm like, ooh, hey, there's a Viper. And I remember it transforming, but that's just about where my knowledge ended. Well, I was flipping the channels in 96, and during the ending credits of the show, you see this car from the top, and it kind of looks like a smiley face when you've got the two, the portholes or solar panels and the windshield shape. And it dawned on me, hey, that's that show, that's that car from that show a few years ago. And I was hooked. I created the website Project Viper on GeoCities, eventually with a .com. That .com lay dormant for after the show ended, and I vowed on the page, if Viper ever comes to DVD, I will bring the website back. And in 2015, VEI announced, hey, we're gonna put all 4 seasons of this show on DVD for everyone to view at their leisure, and it kind of re-engaged me. And during the time that it was offline, this man here would bug the living daylights out of me. Hey, do you know this? Or can you give me this? Or what about this? So I carried that torch and then kind of passed that torch on to him. And we created, just within a few years, we created a Facebook group. There were a couple of Facebook groups dedicated to the TV show out there. And unfortunately, they turned on post-approval. So I was trying to let the public know when Mr. Moyer had this car at Carlisle a couple of years ago, and of course the post didn't get approved until after Carlisle. So they kind of missed the boat on that one. So him and the three of us created the Viper TV show Facebook group, and we have almost 18,000 members. So I'll let Richard talk about that.
Yeah, so I ended up kind of bugging him over the years and lit the fire under his ass to say, and then he restarted his website. I was super young. I was like 14, 15 at the time. Ended up seeing this car sold on Bring a Trailer, so then I got in touch with Mike, kind of. I just messaged him. I'm like, hey, you know, can I have a chance to see the car? He said yes. And then he had told me, hey, it's going to be out in public, can you let people know? And as soon as I went to post it to the only active group, it was approved within a month after it was shown. So that really upset me, because I was like, okay, like, come on. Like, this guy's willing to show the car. There is a fan base out there. I actually posted, we have it with us, but I don't really want to pull it out. There was an advertisement in Playboy for the show, and we posted that online. And Facebook just took it and had over 500,000 views, and then all of a sudden our Facebook group went from 600 to I think 15,000 in 6 months. So we're like, okay, well, there's obviously something going on here. And then yeah, we ended up that's where we are today. I'm NBC Viper Online, obviously. Yeah, and then I ended up bugging him. He reopened his website, and now we're here today. We get to see the car, and I'm glad the fan base is actually rebuilt again, because I kind of thought, I don't want to be rude to the show, but I didn't think there were many fans out there, because it kind of went dormant for a while, and then I find out, you know, we come here, there's a lot of fans still, and I get a lot of support online, so it's like, hey, let's do it, right? Let's have the fans get to see the car. Oh, like you want to talk about So we also want to introduce our special guest. So I actually traveled from Canada, and I'd say Steve probably traveled almost the same distance. Pretty much. We have the designer of the Defender from Chrysler here with us. He's since retired, but yes, the man from Chrysler that designed this car is here. And we'd like to introduce him. His name is Steve Florio.
I want to say thanks to Mike for making this possible. This is fantastic. But I do want to tell you a little story. Right after the car show came out, I got a phone call one day from a young man, and he just wanted to talk about the Viper Defender, the car, and the television show. And we just stayed connected. This was 30 some odd years ago, 31, 32 years ago. And one day I happened to have to go make a speech at a UAW meeting down in New Orleans. And I let him know I was going to be down there. He came over, he wanted to meet me in person, and so we talked, and we became friends. And Stephen Lawrence was the guy that did that back in 1995 before. So even though these three guys have put all this together and made this possible, he planted the seed 30 some odd years ago, and it grew into this. It was a real fun experience because I came into work on a Monday, we go into the staff meeting, boss comes in and says, hey, we got a new project. Oh, really? Okay, what? Well, Paramount wants us to sign a car that the Viper will turn into by crime. And we're going, oh shit, really? So the whole studio got busy sketching. I dug out a National Geographic magazine because I wanted to get an actual Viper look into the car. Hence, and thank God, I remember the day when I showed them my management, and they called Paramount. Danny Bilson came out with his crew, and I was kind of standing back. They were up at the wall looking at the images, and I could see Danny pointing to my image, and then they're all looking at that image, and I'm going, okay, this is great. They're making fun of it, or they like it. And sure enough, I got called over, and they said, that's the one they want to do. The original sketch is right over here on the table. A copy of it, which Mr. Moyer is going to get. And I've got more here, too, that if you want one, I can sell you one, but I don't have them here at the moment. But anyway, I got to sign the car. They flew me out to Paramount. I got to watch them film it. I met all the cast. I played golf with David McCaffrey. They stuck me with the bill afterwards. So I called my boss up and I said, hey, I just got a $500 bill at Country Club. He goes, don't worry about it. We'll take care of it. But it was a lot of fun. And I really appreciate these guys keeping it alive. It's like being a kid again. I'm retired. I get to go and make models, sketch drawings, just like I did before I got the job. So, thank you. Thanks for coming.
Thanks, Steve. We appreciate it. So yeah, we're gonna talk about some things with this car specifically. I guess you want to go right into that, or what's that? Oh, sorry. I want to bring up Mr. Moyer. Sorry, I apologize.
I'll be brief. Thank you, everybody, for coming out. I can tell you this. These three know more about this car than I'll ever know, and I actually own it, which is bizarre. But, when we bought this on Bring a Trailer, I didn't know what I was buying. I just knew that I saw it and I loved it, right? I just loved it. I didn't know the TV show. And my buddy, I don't know if he's here, but he's running around, Kurt Wadsworth, I called him, I said, what's this Viper? Like, because I obviously collect Vipers. And he said, oh, it was a 90s TV show, it's really cool. So I started bidding on the car, never thinking we'd actually buy it. And then we won it. It was a no reserve auction. So, funny story about that. So we bought it, we brought it back, we tucked it away, and all of a sudden, anybody's on Facebook, I start getting all these friend requests on Facebook. And I'm thinking, I'm not that popular. I assure you. And I'm telling my wife, evidently I'm popular now, right? And then I realized it's all these guys with pictures of Defenders, and I think I probably befriended you first, Richard.
Maybe.
And then, anyway, so it morphed from there. I realized that there was a following, which I think is so cool. And I said, we're fortunate enough, I'm blessed enough to have it. Let's have people enjoy it. that love this car, because to have it and not enjoy it and share it, what's the point of having it, right? So I'll let you guys go. I've been asked some questions about, can I take a picture in the car? Yes, the answer is yes. So the only thing I asked, if you want a picture in the Defender, just work with somebody, because at Carlisle, I let some people get in the Defender, and there's people like me that can't get out of the Defender. I can get in it pretty easy. Getting out's the tougher part. So, no, once this is all over, please take pictures. It's all good. It's all good. And enjoy the rest of the cars. And thank you. Thank you.
I want to add something. So, I want to add something to that. Yeah, so he is right that this is one of the worst cars I've ever had to get in and out of. I have somehow shoehorned myself into this, the 6'2" of me. My head sticks out of the top. Be aware, if you sit in that car, you have about a foot, 8 inches to a foot, where that side putt is to the seat. So make sure your feet get lifted. You kind of have to like put your butt in first, then swing your legs over, and then kick your legs out, and then kind of jump out of it. It's pretty, but it's not very functional. Yeah. Okay, so yeah, now I guess we're going to talk about. So I was fortunate enough. I came out here. I've got a history of bugging people. So anyway. But I bugged Moyer and said, hey, can I come out and have a look at the car? He said yes. So I came out, I had a look at it. I took some photos, and then we noticed some things with this car that other cars in the series don't have. And we put together some facts. They're facts or they're not facts, they're proof, that we think that the car was used only in season 1. There's little idiosyncrasies with this car that is not shared with other cars in the show. When they brought the show back, the weather was a lot different in Calgary than California. So that's where the evidence is on this car, that doesn't translate to other vehicles. There is a really weird thing about this car that we're scratching our heads on why one side's not like the other, but we'll get into that. But yeah, I guess we'll shoot along. Okay, hopefully you guys can kind of see the screen here. So I was actually off work for a while. We all did a video chat, and then we were like, wait a minute, we noticed some things with the car, and then we went back in the show. I promise you guys I have a life. No. We went through and we kind of proved little things on what we believe is this car. So I personally think this is not factual. This is something I think. There were 2 functioning stunt cars built for the first season, and then there was a nighttime one and a daytime one. I believe this was the daytime one. I cannot confirm that. And there are obviously 2 beauty cars built. Chrysler actually built 2 cars with real V10s in them. A gentleman named Dennis Grossbeck actually talked to me and told me, so the exhaust note, this still wows me to this day, that the exhaust note of this car on the series is real. I hate to break it to a lot of people, but kids, even Christine, the engine sound in the beginning of Christine is actually a Ford. Sorry. Someone here has a Christine, but yeah. Anyway, yeah. Knowing that the Defender actually, the sound we hear in the show is real, that's big, because that's not common. Anyway, so unfortunately, this car does not have that sound. This car has a 360 V8 in it, and it's an automatic. But we'll kind of go into, so a couple things we noticed. One thing, the headlights on this, and this is something I actually kind of learned today. Mike had pointed this out. So the headlights here are actually, on the beauty car, they're clear glass, but on this, they're like a plexiglass. Frosted plexiglass.
It's almost like an OEM turn signals. It's got like a hex pattern. And the beauty cars were just straight glass.
And the beauty car had neon lights. This car does not have any lights whatsoever. And this whole front end, if you take the fangs out, the whole front end actually lifts right off. Which obviously is not like the real cars or the beauty car. So one thing we noticed here, the side windows are actually Velcroed in. And when we were watching one of the episodes, we noticed when the car was chasing after the bad guys, the side window actually came flying out. And there's multiple times in the show, the episode Firehawk, actually, we have a clip of that. When James McCaffrey was flying out of it, his head hits the side glass out of the driver's side, and you can see it. You have to really watch, you see it bouncing off the ground. Also, something very strange about this car, the passenger wheel well is bigger than the driver's side. I have no idea why. And that is one thing that you can really see it in the show. So if you're watching the first season, pay attention to the wheel wells, and that'll tell you that that is most likely this car. Also, so the exhaust headers at the bottom here on this car, they hang low so you can actually see them. The beauty car, you don't see that. And obviously all the panels on this car are all closed. The rear hatch is closed. The fangs on this car retract. These are all scenes we believe the car was used in. I believe this is Firehawk and these are ones of Thief. So one thing about Moyer's car here, okay, so this is something we just found recently. The passenger side is actually has a huge crack in the windshield. If you look here, so there's a scene where he's chasing after the yellow 72 Camaro, and when he flies through a barricade, one of the pieces of wood hits the windshield, and it lines up that's where it actually cracked on the front. So it's kind of a little piece. Again, these are all things we gathered. Can we prove them? No. The other thing with this car that we kind of figured out, unique movie car. So if you watch on his website, this car is actually in the background a lot, and it's in pieces. So in it being in pieces, like he kind of he could have put the body panels back on. I don't know. We don't know the full story. Of the theory that we came up with was when the show was done and canceled, NBC did not like the series, apparently. Management had changed. NBC wasn't a big fan, so they canned it. And it's weird that it didn't get a rerun in the first season. So it was canned. I personally think that the car was saved. This exact one was, hey, we're going to bring the show back, keep it under wraps for now, and then we'll use it when we build other stunt cars from wherever we're going to film it. And then they filmed it in Calgary. They did not use this car in Calgary. The date code on the tires is from '93. Yeah. There's another scene where we believe the car was used. Yes. Okay, I'm going to hand this off.
Okay, so, Richard was talking about unique movie cars. Now, unique movie cars built the majority of these Silver Defenders, but there was actually a second company known as Aero North, and they're the ones who actually built the two original Defenders, the beauty cars. And those cars were built in early 1993. The first one was January, and then I believe the second one was built in March. And they rushed the Beauty Defender to California for filming because they started filming in early 1993. Because originally, the show was commissioned for CBS to debut in fall, so they were rushing to get this thing done. And they started filming like really early. And I think the original pilot presentation was like in March or April. They were just cranking this thing out. And then CBS was like, no, we don't want it. So then the show kind of was floating around, even though Paramount was still in production. They were still, Paramount always believed in the show. They always did, and they always supported the show. And then Paramount eventually got together with NBC and became a mid-season replacement in January 1994. Now, how many Vipers do you think it took to make this show? So, any ideas? It was a lot. It was quite a few. The best we can construct, there were about 14 Defenders built. There were about 12 built by Unique movie cars, and then there were about the 2 beauty cars with the V10 and 6-speed manuals built in Detroit by Aero North. Now, out of the 12 that Unique built,
there was actually also RT10s with V8s in them as well.
So, I was about to say that. Unique actually took, RT10s and basically turned them into stunt cars as well. from the best that I can tell, and we spent 30 years looking into this, we believe there were about 6 of those built that were V8 torque flights. And then Chrysler donated 2 beauty cars that were pre-production engineering mules. So they also had 2 red roadsters that were V10 powered with the 6-speed manuals. So overall, season to season, the numbers fluctuated. Season 4 is like the lone exception. They had hardly any GTS coupes for the show. From what we can tell, they were only given 2 GTS coupes. So they were shooting very lean for that final season of the show. You'll notice in the earlier seasons, if you look at behind-the-scenes photos, they actually chopped up Vipers. They actually had more than the 14 plus, I know there's 6 or 8 RT10s. They actually chopped up a bunch of mules as well for camera bucks and stuff. So there were a bunch of half cars that were towed around. And, when it came to that final season, most of what they did was they just put a GTS coupe on like a flatbed and towed it behind like a camera truck, because they just, and you'll also notice in the last season, that GTS is baby. They didn't do a lot of stunt work. As soon as anything real happened on season 4, it was always the silver car. If the car's gonna fall off a pier into the water and sink, it was gonna be silver. It wasn't gonna be the blue one. The blue one was baby, it was pampered. It was pampered. There wasn't a lot of stunt work. But if you watch like the mid-seasons, like season 3, season 2, Jeff Cake did a lot of his stunts. He did a lot of stunt driving himself. You could see him jump out of the car, spin it. He was very comfortable behind the wheel. Heather Medway was a great driver too. There are rumors that James McCaffrey, he was a New Yorker who rode the subway, and he barely had a driver's license apparently when he got hired, from what we've heard. So he was almost always in the automatic cars. The special effects guys would I guess drive the 6-speed manuals to get that soundtrack. But if you look, almost every time McCaffrey's in a car, it's like one of these with the automatics. I think, there's some insert shots of him shifting the manual. I don't know if he actually knew how to operate the manual at the time. So it was all acting. It was all acting from what we've heard. I think that's pretty good for now. I mean, any questions about this particular car, the stunt car? Stunt car number 2? Yeah, question? Yes.
We believe, yes.
Yes, these are all date coded 1993, and the wheels in the back actually are customized tires that actually have to be laser cut. Because they don't actually make tires that big for the Defender. They were especially made for this particular car. And that's why it's probably it probably cost you 10 grand to make a set of tires for the back of this particular car, because they're not in production of any kind. It's a really weird, even the original Viper's tough to, because I think they're 17-inch wheels. So it's a very unusual size. So even original Vipers are tough.
Any other questions?
Oh, well, yeah, one of the things too, they were, the Defender, if you look next to the RT10, it's a lot wider. And in order to make this all work, they actually had to do wheel spacers to basically stretch, widen the stance of the car so it could sit nice and low and predatory. But this was, like I said, this is now, out of the 2 companies, obviously this is a unique car. Steve and Richard did a documentary on the 2 cars built by Aero North. That's actually on YouTube if you want to watch it. It's a great documentary on like the building of the car. And cool bit of trivia. When this car was being built at Aero North was also tasked with building the very first Dodge Viper GTS coupe. So the very first concept car that debuted at the Detroit Auto Show was building beside the 2 beauty cars at roughly the same time. And if you look at that behind-the-scenes footage, you can actually see the RT or the GTS coupe sitting in the background. So, all right, I'm going to let Steve take over now. Keep it fresh.
I'll wrap it up real quick here. Thanks everyone for coming. Again, we wouldn't have had this opportunity without the Moyer Viper Collection Habit Performance. And last thing, we do have some raffles that we're going to be selling, and well, 100% of the proceeds will be benefiting the Alzheimer's Association in memory of Mike's father. We're going to have 5 different raffle prize packs. Each prize pack is going to have a replica street mode Viper license plate 369 BPF4. And we'd like to thank Celebrity Machines, Travis over there, for graciously donating all 5 license plates. So each prize pack will get a raffle pack, will get a license plate. Each prize pack is going to get a vintage Matchbox RT10 with the inscription "As Seen on the Viper TV Show." And then one of the prize packs is going to include the VEI complete series of the Viper DVD collection. Another raffle pack is going to have the Telemania vintage Viper RT10 telephone, which is in the box stylized of the power station from the TV show. And then we have a full set, all 4 of the Viper comics is going to be included in the 3rd prize pack. We also have a t-shirt, which will be included in the 4th prize pack. And we'll also be doing some giveaways for some of the newer Hot Wheels Vipers. But again, 100% of the proceeds will be going to the Alzheimer's Association. It's $1 a ticket, or if you want to get 6 for $5. And we'll be doing raffles roughly every half hour. So if you stick around, thank you for coming, and enjoy your day.
I did forget to mention the differences actually between the RT10 and the Defender. The Defender, we believe, is between 12 to 15 inches longer, and it's got 4-inch spacers on the back for the rims. So you would assume that the car is a lot wider than an RT10. And that shows you just how custom the bodywork is on it. And we're also actually going to show a clip of exclusively where we think this car was used. Show that on that slide or whatever. And then we're also going to show, you guys can stick around or hang out, go walk around, stretch your legs, but we're going to be showing the never before seen gag reel and some outtakes of the series if you guys are interested. We'll just be playing on the TV. The other thing I'm going to say, the gag reel, that is parental discretion is advised. It is uncensored and there is lots of vulgar language in there, so if you don't want your kids hearing that, pull them away or plug your ears. Okay, here's a clip. This is not viewer discretion, but this is where we believe the car was used.
In case you're wondering, I'm in control of that past turn. What the hell's happening here? I don't know. He shot some kind of electronic missile into your bumper. All your primary circuits are getting like sucked into it. The cars are electronically linked. Looks that way. I'm afraid you're just an unlucky passenger. What comes into the Viper has to channel to the Firehawk. Jabberwocky thing. Slam it through now. I can kill you anytime I want. Hey, Brandon! Come on, come on! Romeus Bandersnatch, do your stuff! What is that?
Was that not the greatest project you had there? I mean, it must have been,
I
right?
should have mentioned that was the ice, the
Are there any other questions
How could you have
about
a
the car itself? Okay, so the gun turrets, that's a common question. Now, stunt cars.
Here.
Oh, you're gonna do
No, no. So you do it. Just kind of. Sure.
Where are you? So where are we? There we go. Okay. All right. Thanks a lot. Thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you.
So we had a question about the gun turrets on the side of the car. So it's actually kind of interesting. The beauty cars were fully functional, and they used, I think it was not pneumatics. They originally tried hydraulics, and I think it was the Paramount that said, no, we don't want hydraulics involved at all. So the two beauty cars actually used an air compressor and used pneumatics to open and close the pods. Now, the stunt cars did not have like functional pods. However, they did have the capability of taking out these little compartments on the side. So the beauty car would actually, you would see the mechanism open, and a lot of times they'd have the stunt cars they'd take the closed pod off, and then they'd have an open pod that would show like the weapons turret. So they sort of tricked people with the stunt cars. When the stunt cars were driving with the pods open, they would just swap pods on the side, and that's how it actually so this has the swap system on it. These cars aren't, functional in that regard, but the stunt cars were built at in the ballpark of 10% of the cost. Each of these stunt cars were about 150 grand to build, versus the two beauty cars, which supposedly were $1.5 million each to build. So, considering this came at 10% the cost, it's still a pretty functional car, but V8 instead of V10. I mean, they spared no expense on the two beauties. Any other questions? Yeah.
Did you know what vehicle the windshield came from? It's custom made.
Yeah. No, they custom cut the headlights as well as the windshield, as well as even the police siren, like the light that goes in the center, was custom made by the manufacturer. So it's not off the shelf. That was all specially made for the show, as well as the rear tires. You can't buy the tires anywhere either. They're all custom.
Guardian did the glass.
So Guardian is the one who did the windshield?
The windshield.
Yeah, the windshield was made by Guardian. So I guess they probably still have the specs if you wanted to buy one, and custom made it. But again, these things were expensive to build, and they destroyed a lot of them. These things were constantly cobbled together on the set. And when I was having the conversation in like '97 with Robert Benjamin at the Viper Mad Dash, I asked him, what was it like at the end of each season? And he was like, we just had like a pile of parts at the end. The cars were almost completely gone. And I have a theory of how this car survived too. It's all speculation on my part. I believe this was the car that got set on fire in Thief of Hearts, the episode from season 1. So I believe this is the one that got charred and just completely obliterated in the fire. Because they had like a bunch of machine gun fire and grenade launchers, like shooting the car, and they just completely engulfed it in flames. So. Oh yeah. I mean, is anyone curious about the special effects at all? I could talk about the practical effects if you want to know about.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, one of the things that Petfly Productions was really good at back in the day was practical special effects. That was their wheelhouse. All the explosions were, towards the end of the season, the end of season 4, they were starting to get a little, budget conscious. But for the longest time, they just blew stuff up. They loved explosions. I mean, they blew up an entire hotel in Canada that was to be demolished. And I mean, what's cool about all the special effects on the show were practical, except the CGI morph. And the morphs themselves were produced in the first season by Metrolight Studios at a cost of $50,000 per morph. So that like 3 or 4 seconds of morphing, 5. Yeah, per angle, $50,000 per, and that's $1993. So it was a very expensive CGI effect. And in the later seasons, they switched to BB&J, which was a lot more cost conscious, and they moved from Sun Microsystems for the special effects to using a consumer-based Commodore Amiga computer to do the visual effects. And that's why the car morphs a lot more in the later seasons, because it became a lot more cost-effective to do that. But what was great about Petfly Productions is they loved special effects. All the special effects, the pyro was real. they every time the car takes a bullet hit, they actually would have a guy with a paint gun, and they had these little pellets made out of zirconium, and the zirconium would create those flashes. So anytime you see like bullet flashes, bullet ricochets off of buildings, they had a special paintball. One of them, when it was bouncing off concrete walls, it was dust, and when it was bouncing off the Defender, they actually had zirconium paintball pellets, creating those flash effects off the car.
Questions?
So that is been a heavily debated thing over the years. Yeah, it's a heavily debated thing. A lot of people say like the blue in like season 4 was a custom color. I've talked to people at Chrysler that say it was a stock color. That's a really touchy subject. At least I will say the reds and the blue cars were stock.
The Defender was custom color. Steve, I remember. Hey, Steve, do you recall the color they used on the Defender? It was custom, right?
Yeah, but I don't remember the name of it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Obviously, you know, the car was built by Chrysler Skunk Works, so there's a lot of things we don't know, but there are some things, like I've been fortunate enough, I've interviewed and talked to some people that actually built the beauty cars. I do know that color was custom.
I know we tried to get the brightest silver possible at the time.
So you just said they tried to get the brightest silver at the time, obviously for film, right? They didn't want to do black because that was already done. No. Any other questions?
Alright, so there were, the 4x4 cars. What was very cool, and if you're trying to replicate Defenders, that's probably the easiest route to do it, because to build one of these cars, you actually need to get like a stock first-gen Viper and then cut the frame and stretch it. So Viper donors aren't exactly the cheapest thing to work with. The 4x4 cars were actually built on stock 1993 Dodge Dakota chassis. So it was a ladder frame from a Dodge Dakota. And they built, the 4x4 cars, there's not as much documentation on the 4x4 cars, but from what we can tell, they had at least 2 4x4 cars. There's a rumor that when the show came back to syndication, they built a third one that was basically stripped and caged, and it was strictly 2-wheel drive. So the first 2 beauty cars for the 4x4s were 4-wheel drive, and basically Dodge Dakotas under the skin. The jump car was more of like a flivver car, what we call like the throwaway kind of cars back in the day that were used for jumps. That was just basically a caged, more or less a dune buggy that looked like the 4x4. And if you watch the show, that was the car that probably took the absolute most damage. And there's a lot of episodes where the car is doing jumps and landing, and you can already see the car disintegrating midair. That car was always falling apart, notoriously falling apart. And the thing that would always break on the jump car, I don't think the headlights ever survived. They almost always either were shattering in the air or on landing. The poor jump cars were killed.
I forgot to mention, the Beauty Defender and this car, they are fiberglass. This car is all fiberglass, but and this is actually called stunt, I don't know if we said this, stunt number 2. Actually, if you pull the hood, I don't know if Mr. Moyer's here, but if you pull the hood off, I believe underneath it says stunt number 2, and also the keys themselves actually say stunt number 2 to start the car. But yeah, the Beauty Defender as well is all fiberglass. We got a video actually from one of the guys at MSX there, and he kind of confirmed that. So, any other questions?
When the static, does that open up like where the static would go?
So on this car, no. It doesn't open like it does on the show. They're hooked together with hitch pins. So this car actually, if you take the fangs off, they basically just come right out. They're all hitch pins, everything. The side pods, the fangs. We believe that this car was actually a camera car as well. So what they would do is they would hook a hitch to the front of it and pull the car with the actors inside. That's why, like, that is one thing actually that my wife and I, we will watch, Netflix shows and that, and they don't do it anymore. They do not trailer cars anymore because it's too expensive. That's also what makes Viper actually kind of hold up, because the action in it, like, to trailer a car through a city to have the actors in it, it's too expensive. So they just green screen everything. Because I grew up with Viper and that was the first show I kind of watched, car show, I feel like it's a cop-out when they don't trailer the car. That's my opinion. But yeah, that's to answer your question. Any more? Good one. That's actually a good question. So two things about the wheels. The wheels, Chrysler actually, the ones on this car, and actually one of the guys here actually made his own custom ones very close to the show, but they are custom to the car. I believe the rims are RT10 rims that they just put like a fiberglass cap over. This car is RT10 rims with stickers on them. It has 4-inch spacers in the back. On the show, the real beauty car actually does have drilled holes. Mr. Ferrario confirmed that with me. The holes, like, that's another thing you can't really tell in the show, but the beauty car does have actual holes in the rims. They're not stickers. And actually, if you guys watch the second season, you'll notice some of the stunt defenders don't have the stickers on the rims. That's another defining fact of, telling the stunt cars apart. Any more questions?
How many stock parts are reused in the car?
Oh, did you say base or base?
I was wondering how many stock parts.
That question I don't know. And your question as well, I'm not 100% sure.
When it comes to how many, the question we got was how many stock parts were used in this Defender, and it's probably maybe 15%. It's basically the chassis.
Yeah.
The chassis, almost everything else has been modified from the dashboard. I mean, the steering wheel is stock Viper, but they completely, besides the chassis, they've almost completely gutted it. It's a crate V8 now. It's a torque flight from like the 1970s, off of the automatic transmission. They almost completely gutted the electrical system. It's just barely enough to start the engine and go, but like the dashboard doesn't work. The speedometers are just for show; they don't actually work. It's probably 10-15% stock Viper. It's almost completely changed. Oh yeah. We're just going to show you where the car actually gets fuel. It's actually hidden under the spoiler. There's a fuel filler in the back of the car, and now that's a feature that was supposed to be used in the show that he's actually demonstrating right now. When they were designing this car, all the Defenders were built with an air spoiler. Like, basically they would deploy like an airplane, and it was to slow the car from high-speed runs. And for some reason, it never was used in the show. There is a script, an unproduced script from the first season that we recently acquired that actually uses that in one of the episodes. And there was another part of that same script where it was another unused feature of the car. There was actually going to be that spoiler lifts up, and there was going to be strobe lights that came out of the back of the car to blind drivers. And for some reason or another, they decided they didn't want to depict that in the show. It might have been a studio decision, a studio or network that said, hey, we don't want to blind drivers. We think it's a safety problem. I'm speculating on that. But it was a feature built into all the beauty cars and all of the stunt cars, but yet it was never actually used on the show.
This here is actually one of the side windows that Velcros in. We just have it here out. I'm going to actually put this back. We leave this off because actually this and these are not actually attached to the vehicle.
Yeah, they're just sitting there. They're just sitting there.
funny story. I guess when they were trailering the car back, those actually flew off on the highway, and they were like, "Oh no, where did they go?" And they had to run down the highway to grab them.
They're just sitting there. The car was designed for quick repairs, so almost all the panels can be taken off the car like super quickly by a mechanic. And I was told by, I think Robert Benjamin told me this, that any panel in the car, they would have like a truckload of replacement body panels, because these things would get basically scratched up all the time by stunt drivers, and they could pull a panel off and replace it within like a half hour to an hour. You know, time is money on like the set, and they would just basically, they had like a full crew of mechanics and body guys that would just patch these cars up 24 hours a day. Oh yeah, yeah. Let's go ahead and play the gag reel. This is from the first season. Outtakes and gag reel, same kind of thing. But this has never been really put out there. For some reason, this was always internally kept within the cast and crew. They never actually put this out on the internet. So I guess we'll enjoy.
Actually, funny thing, this red car here, it's kind of an homage to Batman, because that's actually what the original Batmobile was based on, was the Lincoln Futura.
Cool thing about all those Eagle premieres used on the show, they were actually all engineering mules for the LH cars. They were actually stock Eagle premieres. They were
So, how's your golf game these days, Lane? Bad. Yours?
Oh, never better. You know, most players, you can hit the ball right through that little window and into the car's mouth. I got that.
No, she wouldn't. So, shall we get down to business?
The Viper and its driver have been putting things Joe asked us to check. We've no idea what the Viper is trying to say here soon, or if that's what we're saying, or even if he's secretly allowed us to. However, there isn't that much information that can be used to put this automobile on scratch.
Thanks. Maybe not.
The cheesy music, I didn't put that in there. That's how it came to me.
I'm gonna try to reel you in.
What? Like a charcoal on knives? You're not gonna have me stuck and mounted.
What are you doing?
Connor, damn it, don't move! Connor! I'll put you more strain on the cable.
like a carrot?
Frankly, what is an air major service?
What is the X for?
Very well.
Hey, you driver. I'm being followed. Put my license in the car immediately.
I'm calling the shots now, you understand? Do you understand?
It's my show, I tell you. Mine. All mine. Me. My show. Mine.
So when they were putting that outtakes are real, they thought it was gonna be like a big show. It's like James Cameron was like this huge hard rock, you can tell. Now these are behind the scenes shots from actually filming the pilot. And this is natural sound. This is what the car actually sounded like in real life.